Hello, children. Good morning. After the exams, shall we go for a picnic? Yes. Where shall we go? Within Hyderabad? From LKG onwards, you are going to zoo. So zoo is cancelled. Where is that we can go? Now you have come to 9th class. Let us go out of the country, not within the country. Shall we go to Australia? Yes. We can see all the other animals there and we can enjoy them. Right? Okay. Now, if at all we are going to plan, we are going to Australia, what are the things we need? So you have to plan everything, right? So take a paper and start writing what all the things you need when you are packing for the picnic. Okay? Now, yes, we are going to read a lesson, a story about packing, which was written by Jerome K. Jerome. Okay? Now, in this story, three friends will be packing something to go on a picnic. Okay, so what are the things they pack and what are the problems they faced? And that is such a simple thing, but look at the way Jerome made it so funny, humorous, and you just feel like laughing. Okay, you cannot even control your laughter. Okay, that was really very wonderful story, full of humor. Let us know about Jerome. Jerome K. Jerome was born in the year 1859 and died in 1927. Okay, now Jerome K. Jerome, whose name is Jerome Klapka Jerome, was an English writer and humorist, best known for his comic travelogue, means traveling stories. And Three Men in a Boat is the famous one. And now this packing lesson is taken from that Three Men in a Boat only. Other works include the essays collection Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow and a Second Thoughts of an Idle Fellow and Three Men on the Burmel and a sequel of Three Men in a Boat and several other novels. And Klapka Jerome had to begin earning his own living at an early age. From the age of 14, he was a railway clerk, a teacher, an actor, and a newspaper man. His career as an actor led in 1885 to his first book on the stage and of the brief career of a would-be actor and his first play, Barbara, which was produced in 1886. And you can see the books here. These are the books written by him, Three Men in a Boat and Novel Notes and Passing of the Third Floor Back and sketches in lavender, blue and green. Okay, now. So now start write things what you want to pack for our picnic to Australia. Okay? Yes, this is the packing lesson. Do you like going on trips? Yes, everybody would like to go on trips. What kind of trips do you enjoy most? How do you feel about having to pack for the trip? Yes, when you are packing for the trip, you feel very excited, right? And have you ever discovered on a trip that you have forgotten to pack a few things you very much need or that you cannot find them easily? Does this make you angry or does it make you laugh at yourself? Now, read this description on how the author and his friends pack the things. Yes, now here is the story, what the author wanted to tell us. And that author was nothing but Jerome K. Jerome. I said I would pack. So I refers to here the author, Jerome K. Jerome. So Jerome told that he would pack the things as they were planning to go for a journey. Okay, now I rather pride myself on my packing. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. So look at the way what the narrator was telling us. So he feels very pride about the way he packed the things. Okay, packing is one of those many things that he feels that he knew a lot, and afterwards look at that what he's telling. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. So he felt that he knew so many things, that he knew a lot when compared to the other people. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. They fell into the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked his legs on the table. So when he told that, leave that packing everything to me, I am going to do that. When he said that to his friends, who are those two friends? George and Harris. When he told them, so these three were planning to go on a picnic. Who are they? Jerome, George, and Harris. So when these were planning to go, and when they were packing, and then George told that I'll be do the packing everything, and then immediately they readily accepted. That was really very strange for him, uncanny, strange, different. That was generally people will tell, no, no, I will do that, but nothing like that. They just George went and sat in the easy chair, and Harris stretched his legs on the table and relaxed. This was hardly what I intended. So what he meant when he told was something different. It was not this what he meant when he was telling that I will be that I will do the packing. So what was that he meant? What is the meaning of that? What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job and that Harris and George should potter about under my directions, I pushing them aside every now and then with, oh, you, here, let me do it. There you are. Simple enough, really. Teaching them, and you might say, they taking it in the way they did irritated me. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I was working. So what he meant when he told that, let me do the packing, he meant that so they will be doing the packing. He will be going in the middle. Oh, that's not the way to do. Let me do that. Yes, here it is. This is how you have to do. So he planned that they should do the packing under his guidance. So when they both left everything and went and sat in the and relaxed way, that was really irritated him. So what was irritating for him is that when he was working and the people was just sitting like that relaxed way, that he did not like it. So I lived with a man. So now he is telling something what happened long back. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. He would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now, I'm not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pockets and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature. I cannot help it. Look at the way what he's telling. So long back, there was a man who was there sitting on the sofa when he was working, and when he was messing up the things and when he was not doing the things properly, he used to enjoy that. And he told that I was not that kind of man because I'm full of energy. So my energetic nature did not allow me to sit like that when people are really working very hard. So I want to get up and superintend and walk walk around with my hands in my pockets and telling them what to do and how to do it in a better way. That was what he wanted. So he felt that that was his energetic nature, right? However, I did not say anything but started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be, but I got the bag finished at last and I sat on it and strapped it. So finally, he did not tell anything to them. He silently went and did the work, completed the packing and sat on the bag and strapped it. Everything is over. Then what happened? Aren't you going to put the boots in? Said Harris. So after everything is done, then Harris told him, aren't you going to put the boots in it in the bag? And I looked around and I found that I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. He couldn't have said a word until I have got the bags shut and strapped, of course. So that's how Harris used to behave. That was his nature, which means after completing everything, then telling that you forgot to keep the boots in the bag. And George laughed, one of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. They do make me wild. So the way George was laughing, it made him really very wild. So I opened the bag and packed the boots in, and then just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling and makes my life a misery. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in the cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. And it is always the last thing I turned out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. So he was telling generally what will happen in his case. So after packing everything, after keeping even the boots also, then he got a doubt. Did I pack my toothbrush? He forgot. So that was the thing which always haunts him when he was going on a journey. So he felt that he dreamed that he hadn't packed it. And he wakes up in the middle and then with cold perspiration, feeling very, what do you call that, not comfortable he wanted to know that whether he packed or not. So that is making him feel uncomfortable. So he gets out of the bed and haunts for it. And in the morning, I pack it before I had used it. He remembered that. So he remembers that he packs it. So, but he was not sure. So he had to unpack it. And as it was always the last thing I turn out of the bag. And then afterwards, he used that again in the morning. And again, after packing everything, again he forgot to keep that again in the bag. And finally, he will wrap that in the kerchief and he will keep that in his pocket and goes to the railway station. That's what generally happens. And now what happened? Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now. So he want to remove everything now to find out whether he had packed his toothbrush or not. And of course, I could not find it. I rummaged the things up into much the same state that they must have been before the world was created and when chaos reigned, of course. I found George and Harry's 18 times over, but I could not find my own. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook. Then I found it inside the boot. I repacked once more. So what happened? he started looking for his toothbrush, and he opened that everything, and look at the way. So he started searching for everything, and he found Harris and George's 16 times, mm, 18 times. Okay, but he could not find his own brush. And finally, when he started shaking up everything, and then he found his toothbrush in one of the boots. Okay, then now again he had to pack up everything. When I had finished, George said, "Is the soap was in?" I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. And I slammed the bag shut and stopped it and found that I had packed my spectacles in it and had to reopen it. It got shut up finally at 10:05. So what happened? After searching for the toothbrush, when he was about to close everything, when he was closing and finished everything, again George asked him, "Did you pack the soap?" Then he told, "I'm not going to bother about that." He did not care whether he packed it or not. So he just wanted to finish off the packing. Then finally he remembered that he packed his spectacles in it and had to reopen it again and to take the specs. So finally he completed that at 10:05. Okay, and then they remind the hampers to do. Hampers means the large baskets for carrying the food that should be packed still now. Not they were not yet done. Harris said that he should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time, and thought that he and George had better do the rest, and I agreed and sat down, and they had a go. So now they told that they would be packing the hampers, the food articles. So now Jerome relaxed. Then they began in a light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do it. I made no comment. I only waited. So they started that with a very light mood, not even feeling anything tense, and he just was waiting for them. With the exception of George, Harris is the worst packer in this world, and I looked at the piles of plates and cups and kettle and bottles and George and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes, etc., and felt that the thing would soon become exciting. So he was just started looking at all the things, whatever were there to be packed. So looking at them and came to know that that was going to be really very excited. It did. It was really very exciting. They started with breaking a cup. So they broke the cup first. And that was the first thing they did. They did that just to show you what they could do and to get you interested. So that was the first thing what they did, to tell you how interesting the remaining packing is going to be. That was just a glance, just a small thing to tell you how exciting that packing is going to be and how much George was going to enjoy. And along with George, even we are also going to enjoy the way Harris and George were going to pack those hampers. Then Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of tomato and squashed it. And they had to pick out a tomato with a teaspoon. So that's what they have done that. So they Harris packed strawberry jam on top of a tomato, and the tomato got squashed completely, and they have to remove the tomato with a spoon. Okay, so the remaining part of that packing, what Harris and George have done with that hampers and how we are going to enjoy that in our, what they have done, we are going to learn in our, watch that in our next class. Okay, children? Thank you.